This is Lila's Bedtime Stories with Dean Val. I'll be reading from Book 6, Your Dream Visions, by Duane, the great writer and the worldwide educator. But this world as it is today, with what is seen on the surface, with the senses, is a distraction and an illusion for the most part, but humans, being what they are, accept the distortion as their only reality. By doing so, they continually try to make things happen with their life according to their personal senses and not what this world is made of. Because of the creation of the present social order, the religions and political systems control all they can with what is taking place here. So many of the natural occurring events and disasters are anything but natural at all. From behind the scenes, there are constantly plans to overtake everything a person does and even thinks and how they react to things. The intention by the certain few is always there because they do not want to bow to others, but have others grovel to them. On the surface world, that which humans see with their eyes and feel with their bodies, a huge transformation is constantly taking place from what is actually happening to them, becoming something else as it reaches the media and other sources of human contact. And so, for the most part, most people do not want to believe that their elected officials have anything to do with controlling them, even though it is more than evident all the time they are doing so, and right in front of all of us. So this then becomes the greatest adventure ever for those who have the heart and courage to see what is real now. Learning about the world of the passing dream is only the first step for anyone. As they decide to start their journey to real freedom within, the real side experiences of your dream visions, there is a huge opportunity for each person to finally understand what is really taking place with their own personal life, who they really are, and also this chaotic world is of so many destructive decisions from those who rule over others. Each and every person is having some form of vision or dream that is relating to their life. As all of us are in the same life, and so none of us are separated except through the creation of attitudes that becomes barriers to the real light that is. Before solid worlds were here, it was a vision and a dream from somewhere that has now become so. Of course, humans have overdeveloped what they term as their literal sense, and what they see as something of an intelligent nature according to the lifestyle of today. And with all this taking place, the real guides do have a huge challenge to get through all the encumbrances most people have created for themselves, mainly on the astral and mental levels. Val, what do you think of that? Do you have any ideas?
Yes, Lila, thank you. Thank you for having me on tonight. And this is Dean Val, and I'm Dean of the Nations United Universal University. So Nations United Universal University. So we're educating people, and part of what the Real Guides are doing, we're a branch of that in terms of here in the physical to help people wake up. And yes, just as you read there about Dwayne talking about the situation in the world today, people are just, they lowered their standards so much that they've accepted now the poisoned food, the poisoned air, the low quality of water. Everything's been lowered from the pristine of what nature has been to just a really low quality of life, and where our survival is basically being threatened here. So if people don't wake up, and if they just keep being self-convinced that everything's okay, it doesn't really look good for the planet. And this is not doom and gloom, but it's just telling it like it is, that people are almost pretending that things aren't happening. I mean, they read in the news, they see the TV reports about the crooked politicians and what's going on with the wars and vaccines and chemtrails, all the things that are going on that are not of a benefit for the planet. Well, they're seeing these things, but they're not. Something hasn't clicked within most people. They just aren't responsive. They just want to go back into their safe la la land and pretend nothing's going on. But again, we're here just to help people, give them opportunity to wake up and to really enhance their survival here, because it's that time where we better do something here, or else it just really doesn't look good.
Well, yes, Val, that's wonderful. You've given us a lot to think about. And here's what Dwayne says, too. There is no invented theory attached to what the real guides are capable of in providing demonstrations in a person's dream visions and analyzing their real experiences. You know, we sure do have real guides that do help us. And that's pretty darn comforting, and to really realize that we're not alone here. We've got the real guides, and they're capable of providing demonstrations in a person's dream visions and analyzing their real experiences. The information provided by the real guides on real visions is the oldest unspoken language in the world. The real universal guides started with the creation of this physical realm by the All Is, and have been here ever since. There are many saints, masters, angels, and other individuals who assist mankind on a daily basis, but they are not direct with the All Is. And the real truth and real freedom, that is the prime position of those who are super-aware beings. The misconception of the masses have been indoctrinated with over the centuries as man evolved, as that the space gods, those who are looked up to in the sky to, were the original creators of man and all the round worlds in this dark and dusty realm. And so it is that a great misconception has been created from the unaware and dimly lit past, no matter what any written material has presented, because mankind has learned to make a business for himself on this planet. So it is with the rep systems that exist. The ego of man always claims what is not rightfully his to do so. And as many have done, they have actually created a distortion and a huge reckoning for themselves as time and events come forward. The real universal guides walked this earth long before man first stepped foot on it. As this can be verified in the universal files, they know all about the natural possession and qualities of the round world and what has taken place to maintain a balance here, or the ecosystems become disturbed as it is now and goes further into demise. These great beings were here to assist the first manifestations of humans and also the entities that exist on other planets. There are many secrets to this original race on Earth than what has been shown to the social humans. The new man and the real guides know these secrets, and they are not for the masses because humans have proven over and over again that they cannot be trusted. The real guides supervise and run all the physical roles with the new wave. When Paul called the rod of power the new man, N-U-M-A-N, is given this position, as was Rebizartars and all those before him, as he then gave it to Paul, of Paul Twitchell, and then once again to the new man. The new wave is the real connection to the all is, and real freedom now during this lifetime for those only who qualify. The real guides are making themselves known to help offset some of the disasters that people have already decided for themselves and the earth. This becomes the first step into the real position of the all is. As one learns from their dream vision, it takes great patience and a determination focused to succeed. There is only a hairbreadth between the dream arena and a person's personal awakened state. And so, which is reality? Even though dreams have been specified in many religious doctrines for centuries, most people still wonder about them, and they are constantly searching for the meaning and if there is any validity or connection to the other worlds. A person's dream visions are the most valid connection and are the key to many secret worlds. So watch your dreams. They're telling you many wonderful things and helping you see that humans are always the last to know of a real benefit and value because they are mainly too lazy to research anything of real value, as they persist in being stubborn and looking to the forefront of authorities for their information and lifestyle. These are people who profess to know all the answers in their own minds, which are usually related to something only personal, like in the case studies of Sigmund Freud and what he wrote about dreams. because he was one of the first in today's world to specify anything about dreams. Most people go with his interpretations, which can sometimes make sense, but only if a person wants to continue to reincarnate lifetime after lifetime and stay unaware of their true potential. There is so much more to the dream view that is seen on the surface. Representatives specifically told me that when I was in my physical body, I was mainly dead to the true reality and the full awareness of it, and that my dream visions were the real adventure and the true awareness. And that is from the position of being outside of the human consciousness, that there becomes a decision as to the direction, and so it is that very few ever find the all is. He said the physical body is an animated vehicle, as all expression in the material world, only that it is when a person learns to go beyond the rock hard world, they are free from having to come back as a limited person. When he first told me this as a youngster, I was a little perplexed at first. As I gained more experiences with him, I began to see the vast difference between being free in my real awareness and then, on the other hand, having to deal with this body. Can you say something about that, Val?
Well, yeah, Lila, it's really a challenge to get through the personal self and the human part of ourselves. And this is, I'm referring to the physical, astral, causal, mental, and etheric part of ourselves. We call these bodies or life levels. And each of these levels has a life of its own. They have the astral has a lot of most of the feelings that we are attached to. The causal has the memories. The mental has the ideas and the considerations. The etheric has the unconscious or subconscious parts of ourselves that are basically affecting us too, that we don't see or are not conscious of. So to get through all these things that we've created, actually, these ideas about reality and what life is and all, is very challenging because it's up to us, and no one can really tell us what path to take. And Lila, you read about earlier in this portion, you read about the real guides. Well, that's what they do, is they point to a way for us to see through our personal self, and they give us references, good references, and good hints and good nudges so that we can get through ourselves. And that's really, there's no enemy outside of ourselves, really. People talk about the devil or evil or the negative forces. Well, it's actually ourselves that's the main, I'd say that's the main concern, is to get through ourselves, and with the help of the real guides, because they're, like you said, Lila, they're there for our assistance